And Madam Clerk, call roll, please.
Yes, sir. Commissioner Jones, Commissioner Bartleman,
Here.
Commissioner Parker,
Here.
and Judge Clymer.
Here. Commissioner Jones is stuck in traffic out of town. May get here before the end of the meeting, may not. So we'll just proceed. Mr. Bartleman, offer our prayer, please.
Let's pray. Father, we thank you for the blessings of this day. We thank you for the opportunity we have to serve this community. We just pray you be with us as we make decisions that will help make lives better for all. And Father, we ask you continued safety for our first responders, for all of those in the sheriff's office, the firefighters, the emergency services, ambulance workers, and all others, Father. Just be with them as they continue to protect this community and give them safety as they perform those duties. And Father, we're just so thankful for this community and for all that happens here, Father. We just are so thankful for that. Father, we just are so blessed for all you do for us. It's in Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Amen. Can we stand and join me in the pledge, please? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, first up is the consent agenda.
It is ordered to approve the consent agenda for the June 13th, 2022 McCracken County Fiscal Court.
So made.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. That carries. Budget transfers.
It is ordered that the necessary cash transfers in the amount of $1,225,000 be made in order to pay county bills and payroll approved June 13th, 2022.
So made.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. That carries. Accounts payable.
It is ordered to approve the vouchers claims register from May 23rd, 2022 to June 13th, 2022 to show county bills in the amount of $1,242,640.45 were paid.
So made.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor, aye. Opposed, no. That carries. All right, then on the discussion tab, we've got Carolyn Roof. There's Carolyn Roof. Come on up, Miss Roof. We've got you lectern up here about the Open Gate Garden Club proclamation. Do I have that in my...
Right there in front of you, sir.
Right there. Do you want to fill us in a little bit about the Garden Gate Club, what you do and this and that, and who you have with you and all?
Open Gate Garden Club members are our president, Elaine Smith. Richard Roof is our vice president. Dorothy Caldwell is our treasurer. And John Dallas is our secretary. We have been organized. Well, sometimes we're not organized, but we have been organized since 1952. And we have worked on various civic boards, beautification throughout the town, and I'm sorry, I can't give you the date. Since the flower show has been held at the McCracken County Fair, since I'm going to say around 2000, we have participated and sponsored one of the sponsors of the flower show. Unfortunately, COVID has meant that we did not have the show for the last 2 years. And we are celebrating. We are so happy and thrilled that we are having the flower show again at the fair. It's both educational for us, we learn what the plants are, and for the public. And we get to do fancy flower arrangements. It is open to the public during the fair hours, starting on the 21st, next Tuesday. And we invite everybody to come. We felt as though this was a big enough event for us and for Paducah having the fair back that it would be appropriate to declare June as Garden Month.
Okay. Are you doing it in Floral Hall?
I'm sorry.
Are you having the activity, the main activity in Floral Hall?
We have spent the last 2 months learning how to do flower arrangements, working on our plant material, and we have educational displays at the fair as well. The neat thing is that this year photography is being added to for the adults, and there is a children's special class for children from whatever age to 18 that they can enter, and we're having fruits and vegetables and nuts. This is a full-blown fair. It's open to everybody. Horticulture starts on next Tuesday. Anybody can enter. The design section opens on Thursday, and it has to be pre-registered, so that has been closed. But let's see, I think everybody in the club will be participating in both the horticulture and design. Two of them are part of the novice class and have been eagerly awaiting the flower show.
Okay.
So we're really excited, and we feel as though this is going to benefit both us and Paducah to let people know what we can do as far as growing plant material and beautifying.
Okay. And you're going to be inside of Floral Hall?
Oh, yes, where it's cool.
Have you been out? Have you seen it lately?
I have not been, I'm sorry.
We're going to knock your eyes out when you go out
I've
there.
seen pictures, and I am impressed. I will say that, yes.
Okay. You want to come around front here and we'll take a picture? They got their photographer.
We brought our
That's right.
official photographer.
That's right. I went to school with you, but I can't remember your name.
Mark Caldwell.
You're correct. That's exactly right.
Where do you want us?
Come on, guys. Let's go right here.
Okay.
And I'm glad that you brought your daddy, Richard, with you.
I want you to know his first flower show that he attended was when he was 9.
Is that right?
Yes. Richard, I think you need to stand behind.
Maybe.
Jonathan.
Maybe you need to stand behind.
Why don't y'all stand in front of me? I'm gonna show up anyway.
Richard, come on over.
I always stand next to the tallest person because I'm the short.
And then I'm gonna come around front and hand you this. So you get a picture of you grabbing this out of my hand. Okay, let me slip around here. I'll stand in front of Bill. Oh, I don't know. Here's a copy right here. And so I won't read through this whole proclamation, but essentially it's declaring or proclaiming June of 2022 as Garden Month in McCracken County, and urging every resident to recognize the contributions of our gardeners in our county and communities. So congratulations. Thank you for all you do.
Thank you.
Mark, we'll stay at the
Hold on, about the trip.
And I will turn
You got this around here?
dangerously.
Yes, we do not want to trip.
You let him smoke that pipe in the house?
No, I don't think so.
You don't?
I think there's one of
You said it outside?
No.
You never had that?
2 years. If you call them up, they answer the phone. Yeah, they're the only
Were you
person.
in Mark's class?
No, he was a year ahead of me.
Okay.
Actually, you were a year ahead of me, I think. We're a year behind me. I was in 72. He was
So it's 50 years this year.
We got a long way to go.
Yeah, I know, it's just, he was as fat as we thought. Yeah, he's been recruited.
Well, when you do your reunion, we're doing ours at the Floral Hall.
Are you?
Yeah,
Okay.
September, I think, maybe.
Yeah.
So you need to look at that.
Okay.
So you're- What? Let's see, now, we got John Hodges here with Joint Sewer. Hello, Mr. Hodges.
Judge, how are you today?
Doing fine, you?
Doing fine. I can't go anywhere anymore without these though. I think I was in front of you guys last year about this time. We were talking about finishing up 2 projects for the sewer agency. We did a wet weather overflow tank on off Pecan Drive in between Pecan and Hanson Road. I think it was about $3.7 million that we finished there. And then we got done relocating some flow to our new Massac interceptor last year. That was about 2.5 that we've been working on that for a while. So we've done some work there in Lone Oak and West Paducah. This year we've been working, I don't know if you've been to see those cranes that have been there forever over by our tank. We continue to work on that work over by the treatment plant. The tank was about $8 million, and the project that we're working on now is about $6.5 million. And what we're doing there is to physically build a pump station shell and a diversion station. The diversion station diverts flow from our main line going to the city's flood wall pump station, diverts flow into that so that we can partially treat it as per our EPA requirements that they have for us. All of that, of course, as Commissioner Balderman knows, is unfunded mandates from the federal government. That project is starting to wrap up. We're about $5 million in on that. We're happy that we got that project bid and let before COVID and all of the issues related to inflation. We've got one more project that we have to do there. This pump station, the ultimate capacity of this pump station will be 80 million gallons when we're done a day. We're going to build it to a 20 million gallon a day capacity now and put that big tank that you see out there in service as part of our treatment process for our combined sewers in Paducah. Then next year we're going to bid the completion of the project, which is to outfit the 3 other pumps that we need to put in to get our capacity to 80 million. And then we'll have a separate discharge. We'll end up cutting the flood wall and having a separate discharge for that flow during rain events. That will help us at the plant. That will also help the flood wall situation with the city because we'll increase the pumping capacity by taking some of this flow off of the city's flood wall pump station. This project's going to come in a little bit higher than we originally intended because, as you know, everything has gone up in the last year and a half. Something that we were thinking that was going to be probably $6 or $7 million is now going to be a full, $10 million bill on that, and that just is what it is. We can't change our schedule with the EPA. It's all locked in agreed orders, and it just is what it is. So we continue to work. The good news is for us, we continue to have pretty low rates. We're happy with that. Our rates right now are going to be, say, 70% of the state average. We are going to do, in our rate ordinance, we do have the ability to adjust our rates in accordance with the Consumer Price Index, but Commissioner Bartleman's been on our board, and he knows we're not going to do that. We're going to have to adjust our rates, but we're not going to do an 8%. I think you guys have seen these monthly things come in at 8, 9%. We're not going to do that. We're going to do a 4% adjustment on our rates. The good news is we're not like the power company. Our rates are pretty low. The impact to a third of our customers, the people that use minimum, which are your poorer folks and your senior citizens, it's going to be less than $1. It's going to be maybe 72 cents a month. So not as impactful as some of the other things that you guys have been seeing. And then once again, most of our folks that are on our system are going to end up seeing a bill of about $32 a month. I think the average would be maybe, say, $32.10. That compares to the state in 2018, so that was 4 years ago. The state average bill was $41.12. So we're pretty low and all of these other folks are going to be going up, and we're going to end up still being probably around 67 to 70% of the state average. So our rate will go, our minimum bill that we do will go from $18.54 to $19.26. Our rate, our standard rate will go from $6.18 to $6.42. We do have some folks that are on a flat rate, believe it or not, that have sanitary sewer but don't have Paducah water. We only have about 6 of those. Their bill will be $32.10 instead of $30.90. And then we do surcharge for a few industrial users, and that's going to go up for BOD, which is biological oxygen demand. That will go from 25 cents. It will go to 25 cents per pound from 24 cents. So these are not really super big raises on any of this. For suspended solids, it will go from 26 cents per pound to 25 cents. Ammonia will go to 63 cents per pound in lieu of what we charge now, which is 61 cents. And for oil and grease, that will go to 37 cents per pound in lieu of 36 cents. And for our waste hauler folks that haul septic to us, the charge will go from $45 per 1,000 gallons to $46. So it'll be $1 change for those folks. And every year I come just to thank you guys for your support. Once again, most of the impact that we see to our rates is from our capital plan. I think you'll hear a lot of people talk about operating costs. We work really hard to try to keep our operating costs low. I think Commissioner Bartleman will concur with that. But our capital plan is just, it is what it is. We've got $80 million that we need to spend here before, I think it's 2036 or 2034. It's 2030 something, and I can't remember now because I'm getting too old. And we continue to work to keep our rates as low as we can, and to do what we need to do to make our regulators happy. I didn't know if you guys had any questions for me or comments. I always like to come at least every now and then.
Anything?
I just want to comment. I was on the original sewer board when the JSA was formed back, was that, what, 25 years ago now?
Yes, sir.
And there were a lot of challenges back then and a lot of projections of things that were going to happen and expenses that were needed, and bring it up to today. I think the sewer district has made a lot of progress. I think of all the things they've done, I think merging the sewer districts was probably one of the best things we ever did in the community to stabilize our sewer service. It's important not only for residential usage, but for industrial and business usage. I couldn't imagine where some areas of the county might be right now if we didn't merge those. I was a resident of the Farley area, the Hope Camp Road area, and that sewer district needed a lot of work and has a lot of work done on it with the treatment facilities and stuff out there. And I'll just report that John does a great job. He knows the sewer district well. He is very conscious on finances. He's very accountable to the sewer board, and he just does a great job. And we're fortunate to have him, and I just hope he doesn't retire for another 20 or 25 years. So,
Right.
But and there was discussion about what we needed to do with the rate increase, and I think part of my decision making on it, when I discussed it with John, one of the problems the county had when it got into financial trouble is that over the years it never took advantage of the annual inflation increase or the 4% increase in our property tax. And over about a 10 or 15 year period, that's what got the county in trouble. So it's important that we keep up the finances of the sewer district so that 10 years from now we don't find out we're in deep trouble because we didn't take a small increase now. So, and that was part of the decision making, but John does a great job and we're fortunate to have him.
Commissioner Bartleman's right. It is interesting. When they merged the sewers back in '99, the rates that we're talking about right now are very similar to the rates that people were paying back then. So it's taken 20-something years for that to be what it is. The other thing that's interesting, we talk about ARPA money, and I know everybody's gotten some ARPA money. In the wastewater industry, the massive amount of ARPA money that's going to be available is not going to be grant money. It's going to be loan money. And so you have to be prepared to show them that you can actually pay the loan if they give it to you.
Fortunately, the interest rates on the KIA loans are real low, so that's a,
Right now they are.
that's a big
Hopefully
help
they'll
that
stay that
the
way.
interest rate is low anyway.
Great job. I think it's amazing the job you do. I got a call a couple months ago, lady said, your water, you got a problem. I said, I don't have no problem. Yeah, your water's running. It was. I didn't know it. I guess you can tell by
Go by the bill.
the automatic
Meter read.
meter.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I remember you took me around when I might not even taken office just
No,
yet.
it hadn't been inundated yet.
Yeah.
We're still,
Yeah. I had to get down in the stuff and find out what
yep.
was going on. It's pretty interesting.
Yep.
It's sewer, but it's interesting. A lot of
It's interesting, but it's
engineering.
really not interesting.
Well, not to you. It was
not.
to me.
Yeah, it's not near as interesting as you think. You go,
His sense of humor on the sewer issues is similar to your sense of humor at the airport announcement, things like that. So you both have a good sense of humor.
Oh,
And if you understand sewers, you understand the sense of humor.
okay.
but you just don't have any control in sewer business. We're the only utility that doesn't control what goes through your pipes. Everybody else controls you, but yet you seem to answer for all that,
Yeah.
which is a unique situation.
Yeah.
Anyway, I thank you guys. Appreciate you.
All right,
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, and then we have Bruce Wilcox here from GPED. Bruce, come on up, Bruce. I guess we're gonna have you in executive at the end a little bit too.
Yes, that's most of what I have prepared is actually for executive session,
Okay.
closed session. But I will give you a brief update. We have a June fiscal year end. But before I do that, I want to thank you, Judge Clymer and Commissioners Bartleman and Parker, for your support of GPED. We could not do what we do without your support, and we are very appreciative and thankful. I know our contract for services is on the agenda tonight, so I look forward to that being approved there. So tomorrow morning at 7:30 we have our investor council meeting at 7:30 a.m. and the theme of that meeting will be what a transformative change GPED has gone through, certainly over the last 2 to 3 years and even during the past 12 months. When I look back over the past 12 months and where our projects have come from, historically about 90% of our projects leads have come from those that were internally derived. Only about 10% of our leads came through the state, and we've talked about that and the need for a better relationship with the state and partnership there. Since I met with you last time, the state has continued to support us, and we're humbled by how they've reached out to us and the number of RFIs they've given us and the projects that they're working on. On June 23rd, we will be hosting what's called a FAM tour for the Kentucky Cabinet for Economic Development. It's a familiarity tour. They have a lot of turnover within the cabinet and project managers who are working the projects. Those are the people that we deal with day in and day out. They're bringing a group over on the 23rd to actually sit down and meet with us, look at our assets that we have available, and then I'll drive them around and show them Industrial Park West, the triple rail site, Commerce Park, and show them the maps and things that we've shared with you. But all that being said, historically, we've had a 90% of our leads come internally, but we've also noted that there are 4 pillars to our leads for projects, and they typically come from site selectors, direct recruitment, improved visibility through our website, and then those that come through the state. We did a marketing campaign that really utilized our website that ended this year back in the spring, and we saw a significant increase in our website traffic. We had over 9,000 new users hit our website from our marketing campaign that we initiated. We had 13,000 unique page views, and we had 15,000 website previews. We had almost 800,000 impressions. That's the number of times an ad was seen. The overview video that I think all of you have seen had 136,000 views. Educational workforce video had 66,000 views. And then Worthington Industries, a local company here that we featured, had over 53,000 views. So we feel really good about our improved visibility from our marketing standpoint. And our site selector leads are now 15% of our projects that we have in the pipeline, and our direct recruitment is 31%. So site selectors and direct recruitment are 46%. And I refer that back to the 90% that I was sharing with you earlier. So over the past 6-7 months, we've gotten 54% of our leads from the state, which is much, much improved over what it has been historically. These are big leads. They're big RFIs that we've completed. They range anywhere from 85 employees up to 2,100 employees. They range in size from $52 million to $3.7 billion. So what I think is unique about that, it appears to me that the state has a level of confidence in us that they haven't seen before. They participated in some of our site visits, and we've actually gotten some really nice feedback, and I believe they have confidence in sending projects and leads down here to us now. So 7 leads from the state over the past few months. And again, we could not do that without the support of the fiscal court. In the morning, we plan to make 2 additional announcements on projects that we have been working. One's another data center that we've been working on for the past 12 months or so. And the other one is a local company that we had been working on an expansion project with them since February of 2020. They're making a $10 million expansion and 40 new additional jobs. Over the past 12 months, GPED has been involved with or directly affiliated with the American Bridge project that we've talked about. That was 30 jobs and $64 million. Drake Lighting, 60 jobs and $2 million investment. The Paducah Water, new water tower out in Industrial Park West, we were party to transferring some land for them. That's a $6 million investment. And if you will recall, we had the Paducah Water West McCracken merger that reduced industrial rates by 50% and everyday consumers 20 to 30% rate. Triple rail site, we were instrumental in the site. A year ago, another gentleman and I went to Frankfurt and we met with Secretary Gray, and we started talking about getting the access road to the triple rail site. And through the support of yourselves, our local legislators, and some folks in Frankfurt, we're happy to say that that access road will be built off of 358, and that's actually in the process of being constructed now. So over the past 12 months, we've had 191 new jobs with an average rate of pay of $26.25 per hour. That's an annual average earnings of over $55,000 a year. You say, why is that important? Well, the median household income in McCracken County is $46,080. So we've been fortunate, we've been blessed, we've been able to secure jobs that are above the median household level. And that represents $234 million in capital investment. I have some project-specific items that I'd like to share with you in closed session. Over the past year, we secured the Sunset Meadows property. That was 224 acres, and we've been able to increase our asset holdings. And we have working on a purchase option agreement on another piece of property that I can share with you, and a real estate contract on another one. So lots of good things, lots of exciting things happening at GPED.
Look forward to it.
Anything? Any questions, comments? No. All right, we'll see. Hopefully it won't be too awful long. All right, then we have Jim Dudley here with the Sports Tourism Commission. Update us on the sports complex. Jim?
Yes, sir. Thanks for having me, Judge and Commissioners. And, of course, as you guys know, or you may not know, right now we're kind of in the holding pattern. I'm sure you're going to talk about it here in a little bit as well. But the PFGW and the VFW contracts, they're both complete, ready to sign. We're just waiting on their local agreement. So once that's done, we'll have all 3 contracts ready to sign, move forward. If we signed it today, this park will be ready to open in 2024. So the longer that gets delayed, and that's just pushing back the completion of that project. On top of that, you guys also know from the pro forma you guys have seen, every month this complex is open, we expect to have about $3 million in direct impact to our community between tourism and jobs and stuff like that. So obviously we're pushing as hard as we can to get this thing signed. We're ready to go. We've been working with our management company, SFC, as far as, still putting plans together, trying to get everything lined up. So once that's done, we're ready to go as well. Still paying them the monthly fee, which is part of our contract with them as well. So we're ready to move forward, and I think that's kind of about as where the pre-operating budget is set. Master schedule is complete. I mean, we can give you full detail of everything you need at this point. So
We're ready to go too.
yep. Any questions for me, or I figure my part's pretty easy, huh?
I would comment that, I met with Mayor Bray and Steve Doolittle, Steve Urban, and Assistant City Manager Friday, I think it was, and we started going through the interlocal agreement, a draft proposal to see where we agreed with the city, where we didn't, and in that discussions, the mayor advised me that the city would not sign the interlocal agreement until the county signed the 911 agreement. And so we had some discussions about that because the 911 MOU and eventually the interlocal agreement, completely separate, unrelated to the sports interlocal agreement. And so we have, there seems to be some hunch, some guess, the suspicion in the city that we will not honor what we said we would do and support the 911 project. I've assured the mayor that we intend to support it, that we've signed a binding legal document that says we will use our diligently negotiate toward a interlocal agreement on the 911. I asked the mayor not to hold that sports complex essentially hostage until we would agree to sign an unrelated document on 911. As you say, the delay is costing us a lot of money. There's also being paid out some $50,000 a month in consulting fees, I understand.
Yeah, right now that consulting fee is about $50,000 a month. It was cheap early on. We're more in the schematic design and the more detailed part of it. And as you guys know as well, we originally bought those basketball courts. Was hoping to bond those in with this outdoor complex. With delay in that bill's due now. So now we're going to pay that out. I think the county's going to pay it out. We're going to refund, reimburse you guys. But that's a $600,000 check that was originally going to be part of that bond issue that now is being paid out too. So yeah, I mean, just obviously any kind of delay is going to start costing money along the way because we're full bore moving forward on this.
Well, of course, the delay then is compounded by the fact that you can't push dirt in the winter. It's mud. A lot of dirt work to do out there. So I'm hoping the mayor did tell me that he would take our concerns to his city commission, and hopefully, they're smart people. I just don't see any logic behind. Well, I guess the logic is we're being held, our feet held to the fire to sign the 911. They won't sign the sports until we sign the 911, but the 911 is at least weeks off in making a decision, probably months off. It could be much longer than that. And so I feel like, and I told the mayor, I wrote him a letter, put it in detail, because I want him to have the words to take to his commissioners that we're honorable people, we're trustworthy. We both said we would sign the agreement, we would work toward it with diligence, negotiating, that we signed a legal document saying we would do that. We're going to work toward that. That's not to say that there'll be some disagreement somewhere that we think we have trouble, and either the city doesn't want to do what we want to do, or we don't want to do what they want to do, but that's what negotiations is. And I spoke with the committee today, saying we're full on board with this thing. We want an outstanding 911 system that'll serve the community, both county and city, and I think we can get there. The city meets tomorrow night. Hopefully they'll have some discussions and agree that the thing to do is to trust us that we're going to do what we said we'd do. I don't know of any reason why we would be declared anything other than trustworthy in this thing. I think it was all four of us were strongly on board with getting this sports complex built out and as quickly as we can, and do our diligence. We got the city to come on board. That was, it took some work to get them to come on board to build a park within the city. We convinced them that was good. And so I'm hoping that we can move forward on that, not sit here and our children continue to play soccer on a reclaimed landfill. People are excited about this. I've never seen the excitement about it. They're almost excited as I am, I think, about seeing the sports complex and what we're going to do out there and what an asset it's going to be for not only McCracken County, but the entire region. And as you said in some meetings, people are starting to talk about it now and making pre-plans, I guess, to when these tournaments and tourists start coming here. So big deal. And it's, we work so well with the city, and I don't want to lose that. We work on, I'm talking to the mayor all the time about projects that possibly we can join in, do more efficiently, effectively, to the benefit of the city and county residents. And I just have hopes that we can not let this be a problem and go forward and get this done like it should be done.
Let me ask you a question. Has the city agreed to the terms in the interlocal agreement on the sports complex? And are they willing to negotiate those while we're still arguing over the timeline?
We sent them a draft, and when we would sit down Friday to go over it, it was they redlined some ideas, and so we were going to discuss them. But at some point, I asked the mayor, if county said we'll sign whatever you put down on the interlocal agreement, just not that we would, but hypothetically, if county said you draw this thing up and we'll sign it, would you sign it? And the answer was no, not until you sign 911. So I think that
I can't understand why the city doesn't think that we're going to fulfill the agreement to cooperate on 911. I don't understand why they got that. I mean, there's a lot of to be done on the planning of that. I mean, it's kind of like if you and your wife agree you're going to buy a car, she might want to buy a $100,000 Lexus, and you might want to buy a $35,000 Toyota, and you got to negotiate what you're going to buy. So do we need I think that's what still needs to be decided on those things, on 911. I mean, I'm sure there's a lot of whistles and bells and gold plating we can put on that, but we might not need all that because we just need basic service that's going to provide and last for a long time. And
I think just the bottom line is they're completely unrelated. I wrote to the mayor that neither ILA mentioned or MOU mentions sports, doesn't mention 911, 911 doesn't mention sports. There was no discussion about these are contingent upon. We only do one if we get signatures on the other. And so, I mean, the only takeaway from it is, of course, that for whatever reason, I don't know what it is either, but there is a hunch or a suspicion on somebody's part that we won't do what we said we would do. And so that's troubling, and I expressed that in some detail to the mayor. Frankly, to have to say, hey, we're trustworthy. Why would you doubt our integrity? don't think there's been anything any of us have ever done to question that, and I think we all value our reputations, our integrity, and so it's concerning.
What's the timeline? I mean, are we in danger of losing a construction season if we don't get this? Because by the time you have the agreement signed, then you got to put together the bid package and put everything together. What's the timeline on that? And if we don't have all this together by a certain period, are we going to lose this construction period and move into 2025 instead
There's
of
that
24?
potential. Construction of full loan construction is 18 months. So I think you could lose that, but I think even a bigger issue is this thing gets pushed into 2025 and you miss the peak time for travel sports, right? So if this thing's not ready to open by, say, March, and you miss out on March through really August, those are your peak travel ball times. That's the summer, you got less rain, and obviously we're doing things to avoid, even if you have rain, with the potential of putting turf in there, but you miss those time frames, you miss those peak revenue months. And then you're starting to look at, okay, now we've got this complex that we missed our peak revenue months. Is that going to give us a shortfall in revenue to pay, the monthly bills? And then you get into not only the STC, but city and county having to help out to pay those bills. So, is there that fear? Yeah. I mean, that's why we want to push this forward as well, so that we can avoid that. And again, hit those pro forma numbers that, this management company we brought in has shown us. And if you haven't gotten to really take a look at some of the numbers they give you, this management company is on top of everything. I mean, they've got detailed out from when we get a year out, we'll hire a general manager and start hiring people. And as we've told you guys before, you start marketing these things a year out, if not more. You've got a full you got a full marketing team, design team, and I think Steve Irwin even said, what we could also run into is that management company's got employees set aside to work with us. But at some point, they're going to have other projects that come up. So, again, all this is our hypothetical fears, sure.
The $600,000, we can recoup that later bonding. Steve? No, it's gone.
And we just passed in our motion, we're going to pay you guys back quarterly over the next year, so to reimburse that as well. So.
When we've got deadline, what's our deadline, Steve, or Pam, on committing our ARPA money, or we've got to, what's the word?
Spent by then.
I don't think,
You have to commit it by 24.
we have to commit it by then.
Spend by 26.
Yeah, so we'll be bumping up against that as well.
I just urge the city to do what they've made a commitment to do. I mean, they're accusing us of not going to fulfill the commitment on 911, and they're not fulfilling the commitment on the sports complex. And as the judge said, it's not dependent on one or another, so they need to fulfill their legal commitment instead of backing off, because timing's very important. Again, it's June, and we need to get it underway so we can have it, as you say, open by March of 2024 to have it. If the city has some reason or evidence that we're not going to fulfill our commitment, I need them to tell us, because I need to know what it is, because we're going to fill a commitment. We're going to do it. We just have to decide how the system's going to work with 911. And I've talked to members of the 911 commission, and some of them expressed that concern. They don't want to rush to put it together and then find out later on that they didn't put together a good plan. It needs more time, and as soon as they come up with that, we'll look at it and do what we need to do, but we're going to fulfill our commitment, no doubt about it.
Anything else?
Thank you, Jim.
No problem.
Appreciate all the work you're putting into it.
Yes, sir. Thank you, guys. Y'all need anything, let me know.
Hey. Speaking of 911, we got the chair here, Mr. Kaufman.
Judge, I just asked to be here. I'm not sure why. What would you like to hear from me today?
Oh, I guess just an update on where you are. I was there with you this afternoon, but of course Commissioner Jones is out. But these gentlemen, I think, haven't had a real recent update. Just kind of what's rolling out.
Well, Commissioners, Judge, Appreciate your support, appreciate your comments this afternoon. And today, as you may or may not know, I chair a committee with Commissioner Jones, City Commissioner Galt, Mr. Jewel Jones, and Dr. Irv Smith. So our charge is to look at the current 911 system, make recommendations of what the updates could look like, possible funding options that we will present to city and county, and then future governance of what that could look like. So the most immediate need, we got to the point where we couldn't, if we didn't have some type of dollar figure attached to what upgrades could look like, we were going to just be spinning our wheels. So we've put together, and as you know, Federal Engineering's been a partner with this since, I believe, 2017, maybe a little earlier. And we've asked them to come forward and help us with putting together a request for proposal. So we're in the process of that right now. We're hopeful that within 45 to 60 days we'll have that request, that draft of that RFP, and that'll come back to my committee. But that, we want everybody to understand, that's not my area of expertise, nor is it anyone on the committee. But we have people, users, that are working with Federal to help put down the specifics of what those could look like and that equipment. And part of that process is determining what kind of a system do you want. And then we'll bring that before the county and the city, and then they can make some decisions based on that. And then parallel to that, we'll be looking at what kind of funding options make sense, what's been used across the state. You know, we have no interest in reinventing the wheels, so I'm talking to other communities and what they're doing, and I'm working with Stacy Blankenship pretty closely to make sure we just don't waste our time to present something to you. So the judge is right. Commissioner, you're right. We don't want to rush into something and then 10 years from now scratch our head and want to know why we did what we did. But we take our, the judge said tongue-in-cheek this afternoon, our job seriously, but it's our volunteer time seriously. So we want to do the right thing for our community. We've never from the beginning, and I think it's in January, we've never looked at this as a we-they. This is our community, and together we're going to work to present both entities with some viable options to make good informed decisions. Something we want you to be proud of it, we want the city to be proud of it, but we also want other parts of the state to call McCracken County and say, we want to get to, how did you get to where you're at? So we want everybody to be, we're going to be upfront with the process. I appreciate the invitation to come here, and I promise you'll know what I know, because I didn't know anything about it, but we've learned quite a bit. But Judge, you any questions? Commissioners, any questions about where we're headed? Or?
So you think that best case scenario on getting some type of price is 45 to 60 days out?
No, that 45 to 60 days was to get the draft RFP laid out.
A lot further out than that.
Yes, when we had our first virtual meeting with Federal, an aggressive timeline to have an RFP back so you can make decisions on procurement would be November.
So we're looking after the first of the year probably.
But then I will tell you this, that once the purchase order is made, it's 18 to 24 months before you see any type of equipment. And we know what those timelines are like. They're moving out further every day. So.
I'm trying to get in my head the timeline that the city's talking about. I mean, they're pushing the sports park out another year and a half before we make a decision if we wait on this, because we're the first of the year or so before we're going to get hard numbers back from these guys. Right?
Me?
Yeah, I mean, there's no way that we can wait. We'll be waiting another year, almost, probably 9 months.
Yeah, let me make sure I understand the timeline. In 45 to 60 days, you'll get the draft.
A draft RFP.
Okay, and then after that, there's a vetting process of the committee where you.
Sure. Well, we do it over 2 weeks or a week or 10 days. But I'm sure that'll come back. You know, we'll want to bring it back to the county and the city too,
right.
But.
So that they'll come back with recommendations, and they'll have options, probably. You can have option A, B, and C on everything.
That's how I
And
understand.
so then the committee has to vet that,
Yes,
and then
sir.
once you vet that, then it's going to come to the city and the county to review and
Sign off on it.
and look
We're going
over
to bring
and
you
sign
up.
off on, and the sheriff's office and DES and others will have a chance to look at that and say, yeah, this helps us, this doesn't help us.
They're involved in the process. They're part of that working committee.
And you're saying it'll be November probably at the earliest by the time you have it ready for us to sign the interlocal agreement?
That's what federal is telling us, and that's who we
So
pay
November.
to head this process. Yes, sir.
It's probably past that though, because then you gotta figure out how to pay for it.
We hope not. I mean, I got other things to do. I mean, I don't want this thing dragging
I
out.
know, but if things don't move real fast,
So if we were to want to sign both agreements together, the earliest that we could sign these agreements would be November. So that's going to put the sports complex.
Well, I'm just focusing on, I'm just focused on
Right.
911.
you tie them together, it puts you another year behind.
But you can't do anything with 911 that we have the interlocal agreement. We all agree with.
Well, no, I can make recommendations, and that's our charge,
Yeah.
just to make the recommendation to both entities. So we'll get that done.
But that'll probably be by November. You have that by November.
Yes, sir.
If
best.
all goes well,
At
by
best.
November, you'll have a document to us. Here's what we're recommending, and here's what it'll cost. Here's how you can pay for it, and
Yes, sir.
we can't wait till November to do the sports complex.
Well, November, we'll need to have that information, the request for proposal, before we can complete a interlocal agreement,
Right.
because we won't know
What the cost will be.
what we're even operating, right?
Correct.
Am I wrong on
First
that?
year.
I think you could sequence them either way, but ideally, you know what you're dealing with before you strike a deal, how you're going to pay for it.
Yeah.
Otherwise, we're going to have to take some guesses at that.
Yeah, and we've been, I don't know, what we've been 4 or 5 months maybe on the interlocal on the sports complex, and I think it's much simpler than what the 911's going to be, but so I think we could anticipate several months after November before we would get the interlocal.
So in the meantime, if we have to wait till November, we're going to be paying a consultant $50,000 a month for 5 months. That's $250,000. And we're going to make very little, if no, progress on the sports complex.
But it's gonna go past that. November would be perfect.
That'd be at the earliest.
Yeah, it's not gonna happen.
Well, we'll hope that things get shaped back where I think they need to be, and I just don't understand, I guess. But I think logic and reason play a role in this, and so certainly we can, if we come up with an interlocal agreement, I'd be glad for us to sign it first. And however, I'm told that the city will not sign it at all until the 911 is signed, and again, that's out quite a bit further. So,
These guys are doing a good job though. I appreciate your volunteer time, Kevin.
Thank you, Judge. I'll come back anytime.
all right,
Thank you.
thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right, court orders.
It is ordered that the judge executive is authorized to enter into an agreement with Construction Safety Consultants, Inc. for safety services and drug screening for the McCracken County Road Department at unit prices and hourly rates in accordance with the agreement for the fiscal year 2022-2023. Further, that the judge executive is authorized to execute any documents necessary to enter into said agreement with CSC.
So move.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. That carries. B.
It is ordered that bid openings were held at 10 a.m. on June 1st, 2022 at the McCracken County Courthouse for bituminous asphalt paving for the period of July 1, 2022 through June 30th, 2023. One bid was received, that being from Jim Smith Contracting, and was taken under advisement.
So made.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. That carries.
It is ordered that the bid for bituminous asphalt paving for the period of July 1, 2022 through June 30th, 2023 be awarded to Jim Smith Contracting.
So made.
Second.
Discussion?
I've got a question, Steve. How much are prices gone up with the fuel cost increase, and how much is going to cut into our paving?
They're up, but not as much as we thought they were going to be, but they were up
overall.
There's a fuel clause in there, though, isn't there?
There's
It'll
also a
continue to go
fuel
up.
clause in there that if fuel goes
So
up,
it's
we,
really irrelevant because we have to pay whatever the formula is.
correct.
How is that going to affect our paving?
It will affect your paving. You'll end up doing less.
Significantly less, do you think?
I don't think significantly, but I'm sure it could amount to between 5 and 10% less.
Okay, thank you.
We did see our rural municipal aid go up a little bit, so that will help compensate for that. But you do also see in Frankfurt some discussion about cutting the gas tax. If that happens, that will affect. That's where our paving money comes from.
Anything else? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. That carries.
It is ordered that bid openings were held at 10 a.m. on June 1st, 2022 at the McCracken County Courthouse for stone for the period of July 1, 2022 through June 30th, 2023. One bid was received, that being Vulcan Materials, and was taken under advisement.
So made.
Second.
Discussion. All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. That carries.
It is ordered that the bid for stone for the period of July 1, 2022 through June 30th, 2023 be awarded to Vulcan Materials.
So move.
Second.
All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. That carries.
It is ordered that bid openings were held at 10 a.m. on June 1st, 2022 at the McCracken County Courthouse for delivered fuel for the period of July 1, 2022 through June 30th, 2023. One bid was received, that being from JSC Terminal LLC, DBA Midwest Terminal, and was taken under advisement.
So made.
Second.
Discussion. I bet that jacked up, didn't it?
We, still on fuel,
We don't know because they don't bid a gallon per gallon price. They bid the margin. So there's this thing called Opus that publishes a daily rate, and they bid the margin on Opus. So for most of our budget categories, I think we added between a third and a half again more for next year than we spent this year.
And we're gonna burn the fuel.
Going to burn the
No
fuel,
matter
no
what
doubt.
it costs. I mean,
We don't joyride now, so it's hard to say how do you cut back on the miles driven in the sheriff's department or the road department or any of the other departments that consume a lot of fuel.
okay. All right, thank you. All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. That carries.
It is ordered that the bid for delivered fuel for the period of July 1, 2022 through June 30th, 2023 be awarded to JSC Terminal LLC, DBA Midwest Terminal.
So made.
Second.
Favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. That carries.
It is ordered that the judge executive is authorized to sign the service agreement with GPEDC to pay the amount of $250,000 to GPEDC for fiscal year 2022-2023.
So made.
Second.
All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. That carries.
It is ordered that the
Let
treasurer
me ask a
is...
question about that. Are we going to lump sum payment on that? We used to pay it in quarterly, didn't we?
We pay it quarterly.
Okay.
The agreement says quarterly.
Okay.
Bruce comes and gives y'all a report. And
Okay.
then we cut the check.
Okay, good. Thank you. Sorry.
Aye.
It is ordered that the treasurer is authorized to pay to the McCracken County NAACP the amount of $1,000 for sponsorship of the 2022 Juneteenth celebration.
So move.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. That carries.
It is ordered to pay the invoice dated May 17th, 2022 to CMT for airport sanitary sewer extension in the amount of $3,534.38. This amount is one half of the total invoice of $7,068.75 and is pursuant to the interlocal cooperation agreement dated August 28, 2021 between the City of Paducah, Kentucky, the County of McCracken County, Kentucky, and the Barkley Regional Airport Authority.
So made.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor, aye. Aye. Opposed, no.
I'd like to make a comment. Before we approve, Steve, any other expenses, that interlocal agreement requires the airport to provide us with some financial information. Can the commissioners get copies of that?
Yes. That's how I would do it.
Okay. Can you send them to us?
Yep.
Okay, thank you.
Let's see.
K.
We're on K, right?
Yeah, we wrote on
It is ordered to approve the May transient room tax in the amount of $456,153.49 to be dispersed as follows. Paducah CBB, $134,306.21. Convention Center, $90,951.32. Sports Tourism Commission, $138,539.27. Escrow Fund, $92,356.69.
So made.
it. Second.
Discussion? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. That carries.
It is ordered that $2,289.66 be paid to the McCracken County Sheriff Drug Fund, same being insurance claim reimbursement and insurance deductible for repairs on a 2015 Chevy Tahoe. This expense was paid out of the drug seizure fund by mistake.
So made.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. That carries.
It is hereby ordered that pursuant to KRS Chapter 68.005, the McCracken County Administrative Code has been reviewed and is hereby adopted by the majority of the McCracken County Fiscal Court at this meeting held on June 13th, 2022.
So made.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. That carries.
It is ordered that $20.16 be paid to Kentucky State Treasurer to return the unspent litter abatement grant funds received for calendar year 2021.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor, aye.
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 Opposed, no. That carries.
It is ordered that the treasurer is authorized to open a new bank account at Paducah Bank and Trust Company entitled Department of Justice Checking, which funds are federal asset forfeiture dollars now being received through SAMS by the fiscal court per DOJ guidance. Further, the treasurer is authorized prior to paying the funds to the sheriff's department to transfer the funds to the new account.
So made.
Second.
All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. That carries.
It is ordered that pursuant to Senate Bill 135, the treasurer is authorized to open a new bank account at Paducah Bank and Trust Company entitled County Clerk Storage Fees.
So made.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. That carries.
It is ordered to pay to the McCracken County Federal Drug Fund, a Sheriff's Department account, the amount of $63,907.40 for federal forfeiture funds received by the county.
So made.
Second.
Discussion?
Were these funds originally put into the general fund? And now they're going to the drug fund?
Yes.
Okay.
All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. That carries.
It is ordered that the judge executive is authorized to execute any documents required to apply for and obtain a Department of Justice Community Policing Development Accreditation Program grant application in the amount of $4,000. No match will be required.
So made.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. That carries. Board appointments.
It is ordered that Joseph D. Frazier is appointed to the Senior Citizens Board, replacing Veronica Draw, to serve a term beginning July 1, 2022 and expiring on June 30th, 2025, subject to further orders of the court.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. That carries.
It is ordered that John D. Wisdom is reappointed to the Reedland-Farley Fire Board to serve a 3-year term beginning July 1, 2022 and expiring on June 30th, 2025, subject to further orders of the court.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor, aye. Opposed,
Aye.
no. That carries.
It is ordered that Dan Sims is reappointed to the Hendron Fire Board to serve a 3-year term beginning July 1, 2022 and expiring on June 30th, 2025, subject to further orders of the court.
So made.
Second.
All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Okay.
It is ordered that Charles Robertson is reappointed to the Lone Oak Fire Board to serve a 3-year term beginning July 1, 2022 and expiring on June 30th, 2025, subject to further orders of the court.
So made.
Second.
Discussion. All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. That carries.
It is ordered that Darren Rankin is reappointed to the McCracken County Planning Commission to serve a 4-year term beginning July 1, 2022 and expiring on June 30th, 2026, subject to further orders of the court.
So made.
Second.
All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. That carries.
It is ordered that Lewis Carr is reappointed to the Hazmat Board to serve a 3-year term beginning July 1, 2022 and expiring on June 30th, 2025, subject to further orders of the court.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Carries.
It is ordered that Crystal Rothrock is reappointed to the McCracken County Public Library Board to serve a 4-year term beginning July 1, 2022 and expiring on June 30th, 2026, subject to further orders of the court.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. That carries.
It is ordered that Jessica Torin is appointed to the McCracken County Public Library Board to serve a 4-year term beginning July 1, 2022 and expiring on June 30th, 2026, subject to further orders of the court.
So made.
Second.
All in favor, aye.
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 Opposed, no. That carries. Is that what you were here for? Did you want to comment on any of that, or?
I think, well, Crystal is already on our board presently, and she has been a wonderful addition, and we think Jessica is going to bring a lot of very strong expertise that will help us as well. So.
Okay, good. Good. We have a great library. All right, ordinances.
Okay.
Vicki,
Pursuant
before you get started on
Yes.
I have to bring up the point that with the ordinance for lawful passage, it requires not a majority or not a quorum majority, but a full en banc sitting body majority.
Okay.
So without Eddie here,
Well, maybe we pass that to the end and see if he shows up.
especially with it being the budget ordinance, it is.
Huh?
there are 2 more ordinances I can read, yes.
Is
Yeah.
it just that ordinance that's left?
Well, that's just the particularly important one that we follow the protocol strictly. It is a strict compliance type of measure. So
If we have
any ordinance
three votes, though, we're all right, right?
The what?
If we have 3 votes, we're okay.
Oh, yes, yes, definitely. It just has to be the full body sitting, just a majority of the full body.
We just say one or all 3 of them.
That's any ordinance, all 3 of
So
them.
we can't do any of them until Eddie's here.
Right. Yes, sir.
Oh. Oh, okay.
It's just one of those nuances that can get you in trouble if you don't catch it.
All right. Well, let me see. We've got the executive session. We could do that and come back, see if he's where he is. We really need to do that budget tonight.
Mm-hmm.
Budget is adoption, so we have to do that one tonight. The others are introduction. What the other ones?
The second reading of the budget for '23 and the first reading of the budget amendment has to be done tonight.
That's really important.
It is important.
Yes, and the other one is the sheriff's salary ordinance, so it could wait. But
Thanks, Sam. Way to go, Sam. Let Eddie know he's going to get a bill from Sam for this. I bet he's still 30 minutes away.
Well, I'm not getting a quick response from him. We could just move into the executive session and then reconvene and see if he's here. I don't know what else to do. Oh, he sent me a map. Now what? like he's near, coming up close to Princeton. So that's still, what, 40?
45 minutes to an hour away.
That's Eddie. More like 35?
At least 45.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I mean, we got to do it, so let's is there a motion to go into executive session? Then we'll come back, reconvene and do the.
You gonna read your?
What?
Your motion for closed session, sir,
Oh, yeah.
KRS requirement.
Yeah, okay. Let's see, where am I here? So we need a motion to go into closed session for, let's see, be future sale or acquisition of a specific parcel of real estate permitted by KRS 61810-1B. Also, specific proposal by a business entity where public discussion of the subject matter would jeopardize the location, retention, expansion, or upgrading of a business entity as permitted by KRS 61810-1G. Is there such motion?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, all in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. That carries. So we'll go into executive. When we come out, we'll need to just, if he's not back, we'll just need to recess until he gets here. I'll tell him that we're gonna need him to come on so he doesn't go home.
Don't stop it.
back in open, and we're on ordinances.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Pursuant to KRS Chapter 67, the second reading and adoption of ordinance number 2022-2 shall be conducted in summary format as follows. McCracken County, Kentucky, McCracken County Fiscal Court, ordinance number 2022-2. An ordinance setting and establishing the proposed fiscal year 2022-2023 operating budget for the funding of all McCracken County governmental operations prepared in strict compliance with the mandates of Kentucky Revised Statutes, Chapter 68. Summary. The action taken by the present ordinance is required by Kentucky Revised Statutes, Chapter 68, and is carried out in strict compliance with same. After detailed investigation by the McCracken County Fiscal Court into each separate activity of the county and necessary funding requirements for the provision of same, a proposed county budget is now prepared and submitted for approval of the Fiscal Court with expenditure allocated to budget units as classified below. General Fund. General Government, $5,026,205. Protection of Persons and Property, $1,258,108. General Health and Sanitation, $484,053. Social Services, $50,000. Recreation and Culture, $823,424. Airports, $136,000. Bus Services, $10,000. General Services, $1,214,169. Contingent Appropriations, $500,000. Fringe Benefits, Employer Share, $2,117,906 for a total of $11,619,865. Road Fund. Roads, $3,615,642. Capital Projects, $364,450. General Services, $5,000. Fringe Benefits, Employer Share, $736,665. Total, $4,721,757. Jail Funds. Protection to Persons and Property, $5,775,448. General Services, $14,000. Fringe Benefits, Employer Share, $2,263,957. Total, $8,353,405. Local Government Economic Assistance Fund, Social Services, $155,000. Contingent Appropriations, $200,000. Total, $355,000. State Grants Funds, Social Services, $32,500 for a total of $32,500. Federal Grants Funds, Social Services, $130,000 for a total of $130,000. Sheriff Fund, General Government, $4,118,240. General Services, $9,000. Fringe Benefits, Employer Share, $2,378,217. Total, $6,505,457. Excuse me. Economic Assistance Fund, General Government, $400,000. Contingent Appropriations, $100,000. Total, $500,000. Juvenile Justice Fund, Protection to Persons and Property, $35,000. Contingent Appropriations, $10,000. Total, $45,000. Transient Room Tax Distributions, Recreation and Culture, $3,253,839. Other County Liability, $655,302. Contingent Appropriations, $158,534. Total, $4,067,675. CC, Permanent Storage Fees. General Government, $140,000. Total, $140,000. American Recovery Plan Act. Social Services, $4,010,000. Total, $4,010,000. Debt Service Fund, Bonds, Courthouse, $240,230. Other County Liabilities, $2,035,965. General Services, $1,250. Contingent Appropriations, $500,000. Total, $2,777,445 for a grand total of all funds, $43,258,104. Certification. It is hereby certified by the McCracken County Fiscal Court that the present summary represents an accurate official statement of the main points of and contents of Ordinance 2022-2. Public inspection. Ordinance number 2022-2 shall be made available for public inspection in its whole and complete form in the McCracken County Judge Executive's office during ordinary business hours.
So made. So moved.
Any discussion? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. That carries.
It is hereby ordered that pursuant to KRS Chapter 67, the first reading of ordinance number 2022-3 shall be conducted in summary format as follows. An ordinance amending McCracken County Ordinance number 2021-5 by making revisions to the proposed fiscal year 2021-2022 operating budget by modifications in receipts from car rental tax, insurance proceeds, miscellaneous, transient room tax, drug forfeiture, and debt outside sources in strict compliance with the mandates of Kentucky Revised Statutes, Chapter 68. Summary: the present ordinance makes revisions to Ordinance 2021-5, McCracken County proposed fiscal year 2021-2022 operating budget, pertaining to a modification of receipts from car rental tax, insurance proceeds, miscellaneous, transient room tax, drug forfeiture, and debt outside sources. Certification is hereby certified by the McCracken County Fiscal Court that the present summary represents an accurate official statement of the main points of and contents of ordinance number 2022-3. Public inspection. Ordinance number 2022-3 shall be available for public inspection in its whole and complete form in the McCracken County Judge Executive's office during ordinary business hours.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. That carries.
It is hereby ordered that pursuant to KRS Chapter 67, the first reading of ordinance number 2022-4 shall be conducted in summary format as follows. An ordinance amending McCracken County Ordinance number 2015-2 and setting forth a current salary classification table and omitting the longevity provision for all employees of the McCracken County Sheriff's Department. Summary. The action effectuated in the present ordinance is authorized by Kentucky Revised Statutes, Chapter 91A, and Sections 65.210 to 65.314. The present ordinance formalizes the amending of McCracken County Ordinance number 2015-2 and setting forth a current salary classification table and omitting the longevity provision for all employees of the McCracken County Sheriff's Department. Certification. It is hereby certified by the McCracken County Fiscal Court that the present summary represents an accurate official statement of the main points of and contents of ordinance number 2022-4. Public inspection. Ordinance number 2022-4 shall be made available for public inspection in its whole and complete form in the McCracken County Judge Executive's office during ordinary business hours.
So made.
A second?
I'll second. I have one question. The language omitting the longevity, what is the reason for that language?
In the ordinance dating back to the early 2000s, there was an ad pay for longevity, and and there was a relatively small amount, but with all the changes and increases, because of how the sheriff has structured these increases by years, so that what ends up is the longevity gets baked into the table and is therefore not needed anymore. So there used to be a formula based on how many years you were here, you would get an additional 5 to 15 cents per hour. It was relatively small, but it was a reward for longevity. So, and that was the only department we did it in, and so it'll be done away with.
Because we baked it into
the table, the grid, right?
All right, I understand. Thank you.
And this simply codifies what we've done for the salary schedule. It
Yes.
doesn't change anybody's salary or anything.
Doesn't change anybody's salary.
It just
Nope.
codifies and what we've done.
Yep, the sheriff had proposed a couple of things that weren't on his table, but we discussed them in workshop, and I've added those in. It was for CISOs. They weren't on the table, and there were a couple other positions that were on the table. I don't remember, Pam. Maybe the warrant officer wasn't on the table originally. transport officers weren't on the table originally. We've added those all in now.
Okay, all in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. That carries. Is that it?
I move we adjourn.
We need to be sure on the minutes that he.
Yes, sir, I have that noted at 7:50.
Okay. All right. All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. That carries. We're adjourned.